Hi, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. Hi, I'm Rob from robnowphoto.com, and today we're going to be looking at the Kenro Reflecta x7-Scan 35mm film scanner that will also do 110, 126 and slides as well. So let's just put that down for a sec. Now, I love shooting film. I don't know if it's the feel of a nice film camera in my hands, the noise you make when you wind it on, the snap of the shutter. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the fact that you can go out and you can take photographs, and you've got no idea if they're going to come out or not. You could have a duff roll of film, you could have a duff camera, anything, and that sheer pleasure you get when you develop them yourself, or you go to the lab, or you go to local Asda or local Walmart, you get the envelope of prints or negatives, and you look at them, and you go, wow, they did come out. Shooting film slows you down. It makes you think about each shot, because there is a cost to each shot that you take. There's a cost to each photo you print. And you kind of have this, I think you can almost have this like link with the past, because you're using often these great old SLR cameras that probably cost quite a lot of money when they came out, you know, maybe semi-professional cameras. I mean, this is a Pentax K1000, so you know it's a consumer grade camera, but I've got like the SRT 101s and various other cameras, you know, high-end 35mm. So there's no way I can't afford to buy a digital, something like a Canon 5D Mark III. You know, they're over £1,000. But I can afford to pick up and can pick up very, very cheaply film cameras. But there's a problem with film, and that really is the cost involved with the film. If you have them all developed and printed and scanned to CD at your local lab, all of a sudden, you know, one roll of film every now and again is okay. But if you're doing several rolls of film a month, we're talking about, you know, a real outlay of cold hard cash. And there's, you know, a few answers. One of the answers to this is actually to get develop only at your local lab. So you're shooting black and white, C41 or colour. So let's have a look. So say you're shooting stuff like Kodak Color Plus or any colour film. You could go to your lab or send off and do mail order and just say develop only and just get the negatives back. Or you could shoot true black and white film and then develop your own negatives, because that's really easy to do at home. That's one of the things that I do at home there. And what you then find is it's really just the cost of the film, because the cost of the chemicals, the developer, the stop and the fixer, and although yes they do have a cost, they last so long, you know, you can get so many rolls of film out of them that's pretty much negligent. And all of a sudden then the cost of shooting film goes down significantly. But you've obviously still got the cost of buying the film and doing it that way. So let's say you decide to go develop only with your colour film at the lab. I mean, you can develop colour film at home as well. Or you decide to develop your own black and white negs at home. Very easy to do. If you look at robnowphoto.com in the film section, I've done an article on developing your own film. Very easy. But then you've got the problem. You've got these negs. You know, what do you do with them? And traditionally, we would use something like an Epson V500, V700 flatbed scanner. You know, the ones you lift up. And they're great. The quality is great. But the problem with them is that they're big, they're bulky. You've got to fix them to your laptop or your PC. You've got to clean the glass. It's a very time-consuming process to go through, you know, especially if you've got like 36 roll of film to scan in. It really does take a long time. So this is where the aforementioned Reflecta x7-Scan comes in. And we might have even seen some of these units before. It's a standalone unit. It has its own lithium rechargeable battery in the bottom. You put your SD card in the back, and that's it. We can now, with just the addition of a negative holder with some negatives in it, we can now scan our pictures. We don't need a laptop, we don't need a computer, there's no more wires. We can choose the most dust-free environment in our house. You could even do something like when somebody's go into the shower room or the bathroom of your house, run a hot tap for a bit to dampen everything down, to get all the dust down, because dust is always your enemy when you're scanning. And you could go and scan there. You could scan watching the TV or reading your favourite book. You don't have to scan where your computer is. If you're out in the field, you know, away from your laptop and stuff, you don't need to bring a big scanner. You can just bring this little baby. And it really is a very elegant solution. The guys at Kenro sent me this one to review, and thank you very much, because it's always a privilege to get hold of a nice piece of kit that can almost really change your workflow for the better. Or if you haven't really done film photography before and are trying to get your head around how do I create a digital darkroom, if you like, that includes the analog side as well, this may well be part of the answer to that. What's different about it as well is its speed. It takes about 2 seconds to scan each negative. And the resolution, this is rated at 14 megapixels. So in terms of pixel size, that's about, you can tell I'm reading off my notes here, that's about 4,416 by 2,944 pixels. So you know, that's a big file. To compare it with my 350D digital SLR, my 350D digital SLR is 3456, so 3,400 by 2,300. So it's significantly bigger. So you've got really good big files to work with, and the advantage of that is it gives you elbow room when it comes to post-processing, you know, where you're changing the files around, maybe cropping, playing with the levels, playing with the colour and all that sort of stuff. So as I said, you know, you can charge the X7 up, comes with its own charger. You can scan wherever you want without having to use your PC at the same time. Obviously, I mean, I'm talking about negatives here, but it will do 35mm negs, 126 negs and 110 negs, but it'll also do slides. So if you've got an old slide collection, or even you're shooting new slide film now, you can easily scan it in using this device. And you get the unit, you get the film holders, you get a cleaning brush to clean the glass at the bottom, you get the leads chargers, and they even throw the software in as well to edit your scans, so you don't really have to do anything else. I mean, it does produce JPEG, so you can carry on using Lightroom or Photoshop or Picasso or whatever you do that way. And it really is very, very simple to use. Basically, I'll show you a little bit now, but then we'll go into a bit of detail. You turn it on. There we go, you might have seen the screen come up. You put your slides holder in with the slide in, and I don't know whether you can actually see that or not. And then basically I press the button. Well, I can adjust the brightness. I can you can put in this type of the type of media it is. So is it a slide? Is it a colour negative? Is it a black and white negative, a 126 or a 1210? And all you do is you press that button there, and I probably shouldn't be moving it around when I'm scanning. And there we go. And then you just move on to the next one. But what I'll do now is I'll move the camera, we'll get in close, and I'll give you a more detailed look of scanning some black and white film negatives, so you can see what it's like to actually use the Reflecta x7-Scan. Okay, so here we've got the Kenro Reflecta x7-Scan, and I've kind of surrounded it with some of the goodies you get with in the box. You don't get the cameras or the film or the photos, but what you do get, actually what I haven't shown you, you do get a mains adapter to charge it up. You do get the software to download onto your PC. You do get you can actually plug it into your television as well, which is really useful to watch your watch your photos back as well. That's another lead, so you can charge it up via your computer. We've got some instructions just down here, and then we've got the 35mm negative holder. That will be a slide negative holder. That will be 110, and that will be 126. So there we go. So it's all fully charged. I've put my SD card in. No, it doesn't come with an SD card, but you know, you can pick them up for a few quid these days, can't you? So first things first, let's turn the unit on, and you'll see again, no wires. We don't need no wires, and the little screen has just popped up there. So here's my 35mm film holder. These are just some old black and whites that I've got. Don't know whether you'll be able to see, probably not. Okay, so they just go in there, and you kind of line them up with the little bits, try not to touch them. Now, previously, well, what I'm not showing you here is what I would do if I was scanning some negatives in anger. I would have a little puffer that I would be puffing on to blow any dust off the negatives. I would also probably have my white cotton glove just to gently pick off any dust that was on there. The reflector actually does come with a little, almost like a toothbrush type thing that you can put into the bottom to clean off the glass as well, in case any dust has appeared that way. So now what we do is we probably see that little arrow, and we just slide our carrier in, and we go to there. Don't know, you probably just about see it's come up. Now we can select the type of media we're putting in by pressing this button here. So we can go, at the moment it's on negative, press it again, sorry, it was on slide to start off with. This is now on negative colour film. Press it again, black and white negative film, and then press it again, 110. You see the cropping would be slightly different, and then 126. So let's go back all the way through to black and white. Now what I'm going to try and do, I'm just going to try and zoom in with the camera. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, so bear with me if bits may well fall off. Can you actually see that? You can probably see that. So now what I can do, you won't be able to see the buttons when I press it, but now what I can do as well is I can press the exposure button, and if I wanted to, can you see that changing? So I've gone to really overexpose it there, and then I can take it down. Especially if you develop your own negatives, you can often find that you can end up with very dense or very thin negatives, and you know, this is a way of just adjusting that in post-processing, like that way. Right, let's just zoom back out again so you can see the whole unit again. So once I'm happy, and you know, and what's to stop you bracketing? Because this thing is so fast. So now all I need to do is I press that button there. Oh, sorry, press EV to come out of the. Press that button there. 1, 2, bang, we've done it. Let's say you weren't sure, and you thought, actually, should I do it well, like the EV's in the middle? What's to stop me bracketing? I mean, gosh, you could even, you know, let's scan an overexposed neg. Let's scan an underexposed neg. We could in post-processing, what we could even do now is we could produce a HDR from that negative, couldn't we? By bringing them up, or we could just, you know, combine them. So there we go. So then we would go on to the next one. Just push it through. Hey, there's me. Scan. 1, 2, done. Push it through. We're on to the next one. Press it. 1, 2, and we're done. There we go. So that's how easy it is to use a Reflecta X7-Scan. And then you would take that carrier out, put your next negative in, and in probably less than 10 minutes you could have scanned a whole roll of 36. Probably less than 5 minutes as well. Now, a few hints and tips about scanning though. When you are scanning, dust is your enemy. I know I said it at the beginning, but it really is. Make sure you use a puffer to puff away any dust. Gently you can brush dust off, but try not to scratch those negatives, because every single speck of dust that does go onto your negatives you will then have to try and remove in post, or maybe you'll want to leave it on for that more Lomo analog look that way. But there we go, that's the Reflecta X7-Scan from Kenro. That's how easy it is to use. As I say, 12 megapixel rated, which equates to about 4,400 by 2,900 pixel photographs. Yeah, a really nice piece of kit. So there you go. I mean, for lots of people, the Kenro Reflecta X7-Scan is a real viable alternative to having to use a large flatbed scanner. It doesn't take up much space. You can, when you're not using it, you can put it back in the box it comes with, tuck it away in the corner so it stays nice and dust free, and when you need it, as I say, you don't need your laptop or your computer to plug it into. You just can get it out, you can sit down, go to a nice corner of the house, have a cup of coffee, you know, put your get your dust, your blowers and everything to keep the to blow off your negatives, and just sit there happily scanning away, watching the TV or reading a book. You can adjust the brightness. the images, and it really is incredibly simple to use. I know, personally speaking, I have a flatbed scanner and it scans really nice. I think it is some Epson, one of the cheaper Epsons, and it produces really nice images. But I kind of don't like get it out to scan my legs because it's so much hassle, because we haven't got much space. I don't have a proper computer desk to put my stuff on. I basically have a little desk with my laptop on, and so I've got to create a different space for my flatbed scanner and plug it all in, and then you've got the hassle of finding the plugs and go through the sheer time of doing it. Where with the Reflecta, you know, it's just a scan away and we're done. So if I was thinking about getting a scanner and I was on a budget, you can pick one of these up for about £130. It really is worth looking at. Well, that's it for this review. My name's Rob from robnunphoto.com. You can catch me, email me, scalespeeder@gmail.com. That's SCALESPEEDER@gmail.com, or the aforementioned ROBNUNNPHOTO.com, or you can find me on Flickr. And thanks for watching.